All right, I've been getting a lot of phone calls and emails. It's alligator season, shark season. Guys are trying to rig up their slotted retrievers to floats, detachable arrows, and they're calling. They're having lots of problems. It's really hard to explain, so I'm going to do this video real quick, show you how to set everything up, and you can get out there and get after them alligators. All right, first things first. We're going to set our arrow up. I want you to lay your arrow out. I only got about 5 yards of line here. You're going to have a bunch of line when you go to do this because you're setting it up for your retriever, but we're just doing this for video. You want to leave yourself about 6 or 8 inches of line past the tip. And then you want to go back here to the back of the arrow. Give yourself about 8 inches and just pinch the line and come up with it. Make yourself a loop. And we're going to tie an overhand knot in there, real simple. Now this loop has got to be bigger than the loop you're used to tying. For the simple reason it's going to lay forward when you draw your bow, and it's still got to be able to trail back of the arrow. And you'll see when we get this together. So now we got our loop tied. We're going to put it in our slide here real quick. Just like we showed you in our previous video, you know, through the slide on one side, back down through on the other side, just like we do going regular. Nothing's changed. Now you want to take and keep your loop open over the knot or over the point end and around the knot. Keep everything straight, and then give yourself a, just pull it tight there. Oh, back through there. There. So now this will be able to tail in the back when you shoot it and keep, you know, it'll make your arrow shoot straight, and it's still going to go forward here when we tie on to the point. Next thing we're doing, we're going to put on our point. Now I use fin finder arrows. One of the reasons I like using them is they're pretty straight arrows. The other thing is they have just a little bit bigger diameter with this super slick coating they're putting on it now. And what that does is when you push it, it makes it fit in that point a little bit tighter so it doesn't fall off. If you feel a little bit more secure, you can run a piece of electrical tape around there and that'll hold it too. But you still want to be able to, when you shoot into an alligator or shark or anything else, that the arrow pulls away. Reason being, if you were to just tie to your slide and you shoot an alligator and he gets down there and he rolls and he busts the arrow off, he's going to swim off with the point. You're going to pull up a busted arrow with no alligator, no shark. So we're going to show you how to rig this all up. These are the new Sure Shot fish points that are, we drilled some holes in the adapters and they're designed for alligators and sharks. So all you want to do is go through the point here, through the adapter. Now, I'm not a big, instead of joining Boy Scouts, I went out and was shooting fish. So I'm not a big knot tying guru. You can tie with any knot you feel comfortable is going to hold. I'm in the philosophy if you can't tie a knot, just tie a lot. And then that's what I do. So you want to do that. There. And you can cut the tag end off of there and you know, burn it with a lighter and it'll be better. But we're just going to leave it for now. Slide that back on the arrow. So now what you have is, you see now the line will tail in the back and you'll still have this slack for the point. So you want to make sure this is how your arrow is going to look. Point's tied on, slide, and your loop is keeping back here with the arrow. So there, that's pretty much set up. Now the way we designed this point, we drilled it and it's basically set. So when this goes, you shoot it into it, the alligator. Now you're fighting the alligator, you're pulling on the arrow, he's pulling on the point. The arrow pops off and it'll hang there just like this while you're fighting him. So he really can't break your arrow, and he's attached to the point. The arrow is basically out of the equation right now. And what this point does is when it's in the alligator, it doesn't just keep pulling straight back. This point will turn sideways. And then that's what you're pulling on. So it's not coming out. I've shot 10-foot sharks with this point. We've shot 12-foot alligators with it. We have not had a bit of problem. So this is what I use. That's how it's designed. It's not going to pull this way. It's going to pull this way. And look at all of that surface you're trying to pull out of that animal after it's only gone in this way. So that's the arrow point of it. Now we're going to go down here and we're going to tie on our float. Again, tie any knot you feel comfortable with. Just go through the holes here. I'm just going to tie I can't tie a knot, so I tie a lot. All right, now we're set. So now when the alligator or the shark, you can also, instead of using a float, you can tie this to a fishing pole or anything like that. We're just going to tie it to a float here. If you were going to go to a fishing pole, you would just take the tag end of your line on your fishing pole and set it up just like this. And then instead of having a float, you would have a fishing pole, or you could tie some of your 400-pound test line, give yourself about 15 yards, put a swivel on it, and you can tie that swivel to your fishing pole and you're set. All right, we just got our riser to our October Mountaineer recurve here. We've got our float holder on there, just screws in the stabilizer hole. And your float will go right on there just like that. So now when the animal or the alligator or the shark pulls all your line out, then he takes the float and he's totally away from the bow. You can set the bow down and you can start fighting. Okay, this is really simple. And everybody seems to be having a lot of problems with it, but we're going to do it. You're going to have a rubber band around your bottle. Any rubber band will work. Just make sure you got a little bit of tension. And you're also going to take and cut a slit in your bottle. I cut an L slit in my bottle. Some people try to keep it straight, but I cut an L slit, and just because it helps me get my finger in there to get the line, and you'll see. Now, what you want to do is you want to take, and down here towards the end where you're tied on your float, you want to make a loop. Just like that. Stick that in the end of your retriever, down towards the bottle. Press the button. Reel it in, and you'll see the loop is now in the bottle. Stick your finger in there, get it out, and pull it. Now, you want to take the end that's tied to the float, and you'll see the slot here. This is why this is called the slotted retriever. It's designed, you want to pull that end all the way to the back. And then you want to take the end that it's attached to in a loop and pull it tight, just like that. That's what you want it to look like. It's got to be in front of this, the reel handle, and it's got to be tight, just like that. That's exactly how you want it. Now you take your other end and you make your loop about that big. Now the rubber band comes into play. Just put that on there just like that. Now all that rubber band does is to hold this and keep this from becoming bigger or smaller. Then all you do is you reel in your line, just like you normally would. Here we are to our arrow. You'd put your arrow on and you'd be set. Your line here for your arrow, your point's on right here. You reel that up. Oh, our slide fell off. Oops. So you're set. You reel this up to the slide. You put it through your little clip on your retriever right here by the knot. Now you got to be careful, people, because you got this loop of line hanging out when you draw your bow. It's you know, you can be a little conscious of it. But what happens now is you shoot the arrow. The arrow comes off. Hopefully you've hit the alligator or whatever you're shooting at. He pulls out the line. He's pulling it out. He's pulling it out. Now he's to the end. He keeps pulling. You can see that it's coming out of here. Pulls it. And the line totally goes away from the reel. Out goes the float. So again, we're going to set it up real quick. You're going to make your loop. You're going to put it into the reel. Press your trigger. Reel it in until it's in the bottle. Stick your finger in. Grab your loop. Pull it out. Now, the end that's tied to the float, we're going to come up here, follow it up, pull it through the slot, get it all the way to the back. Come to the back, pull the one that's connected so this is nice and tight. Again, in front of the reel handle, just like that. Pull this, make that loop just a little bit smaller so it doesn't get tangled on stuff. Put it underneath your rubber band. Reel in your line. Knock your arrow onto your line, you're ready to go. That's all there is to it. It's very simple. Again, you shoot, he takes it, pulls out all the line, pulls that loop from the bottle, line comes off, float goes out, chase your float, get your alligator, get your shark. That's it. That's how I set up my slotted retriever, my detachable arrow point, and my float. If you guys have any more questions, email me, give me a call, We'll try to do more how-to videos. I want you guys to go out and have fun. I want you to enjoy yourself. I want you to use the equipment correctly so it works the way it's supposed to, and there's no complications, and you get the alligator of your dreams or the shark of your dreams and everything else. So check us out. Biggest bow fishing group on Facebook, Big Time Bow Fishing. Website, bigtimebowfishing.com. And our forum, our talk forum, is bowfishingforum.com. Thanks again.